cool guy game. Oh man, this is gonna get cut out. Welcome back to the Grope-a-trope podcast. Tonight we have with us Cody.
Hey yo.
Cain.
Hi.
Cameron.
Hey.
And myself, Josh. And tonight we are going to be -1. Tommy is not going to be here for tonight's episode. Or this morning's episode. Or this afternoon. You have no idea when we're recording this.
Josh, you're slowly breaking down the theater of illusion. Jesus.
Alright. Anyways, welcome to episode 3. We're going to go ahead and jump right into what we've all been playing. So, Cain.
Oh, here we go. Back to the old traditions of starting with me, huh? You couldn't mix it up again, like start with Cody, maybe?
Nope. Cain.
Okay.
You got to let us know what you've been playing, man.
Well, I haven't really been playing much. It's been just kind of a chill week, really. Haven't really done a whole lot as far as the gaming side goes. I did go completely un-gaming related. I went to a 90s bar.
So that's what that Snapchat was about.
Yeah, I went to a bar this weekend, and they were having a 90s theme. And I'm usually not the bar type. I usually, at least like dancing, like clubs and stuff like that. But it was fun. They played a lot of 90s music, and like the Friends theme song came on, and everyone lost their shit. That was fun. So that was new adventures for me. As far as gaming goes, I decided to kind of venture out a little bit, I guess, and grab my Wii U. That's mainly what I've been playing, honestly, is kind of the Wii U stuff, yeah. I downloaded Mario 64 DS.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
It's a good version.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
I know it's kind of old news, but I forgot you could even do DS on the Wii U.
Yep. Yeah, I was inspired by a YouTube channel I watch. But it looked interesting because I played it when it originally launched, right? It came out when the DS launched in 2006, I think. And, Super Mario 64 is so iconic. I know that game like the back of my hand. I've beaten it so many times. And just somehow in the back of my mind, the changes that they made to Mario 64 DS were totally lost to time. I had totally forgot about all the stuff that they did. So I started the game up, and lo and behold, you start as Yoshi. That's weird. And Mario and Wario and Luigi pop out of tubes. Normally in like the introduction, Mario pops out and he's like, Yahoo! And he does the thing and he plays Mario. No, it's Luigi, Mario, Wario. And they all hop out and go do whatever the hell they do. And then you play as Yoshi, who's like just hanging out and sleeping. And then you like meet Lakitu, and you kind of do like the normal stuff. You go to Bob on Battlefield and you just kind of do the normal stuff. But it's interesting because you can like straight up hover as Yoshi and eat enemies with the tongue of Yoshi and like spit them out, and you can make eggs and stuff. Like there's some significant changes to this game. It kind of blew my mind again.
Yeah, I always thought it was kind of a bummer deal starting off as Yoshi, but then, once you kind of realize, like, oh, the crap, you can do hover jumps and stuff, it was super cool. Like,
yeah.
Well, then that's a good port, too, because easily the worst thing, it's kind of funny, this is almost an old-fashioned thing, like, they would never do this now. The worst thing about that game was you either played with the D-pad, or you had this little strap with a nubbin on the end.
Yeah,
exactly.
You
I
used
remember
the
that
nubbin as a thumb stylus, and it was actually... to me, I felt like it controlled better with the nubbin than it did on the D-pad, just because of, it's Mario 64, the analog game. But it was brutal. And then, do they have the mini games, Cain? Because those are some of the best mini games you can get on the DS.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those mini games are all there. You can play them. I think you still have to unlock them though. I don't know if it's from the main menu. I don't really remember, but I'm pretty sure you unlock them throughout the course of the game. Yeah. And that was a huge deal. You're right. Those mini games were a huge deal. I remember because the DS was kind of one of those first things for Nintendo where they started to kind of venture out into the casual gamer. And I remember we got my grandpa a DS for like his birthday or Christmas or something like that. And I'm like, look, Grandpa, you can play like cards in this minigame. And he's just like, oh, this is fantastic. And, he like loved it. He fucking was in love with that game. So yeah, that's a really great game. And if you really like Mario 64 and kind of want a fresh take on it, even though fresh, I mean, it's 10 years old, but to me it was fresh. It was really kind of cool to see.
How much?
Oh, I want to say $12
nice
on the Wii U
That's
console.
not bad.
I was expecting 20, honestly. So that's pretty good.
I honestly don't remember, but it's no more than 20 at least, I'm sure.
Yeah, considering like the DS cartridge itself alone can sometimes go for 25. That's not bad at all.
Mhm.
No, it's not. It's great. And the other thing that I've been just kind of playing and that I had never really discovered was a great party game, but actually is Super Mario Maker. Just being social with people this last week and just kind of hanging out with people. The Wii U has just been kind of set up at the house where there's a whole bunch of roommates and stuff, and just turning on Super Mario Maker and they're being like, "Oh, I love Mario," and then being like, "Yeah, but you can make your own levels. Check this out. It's cool, man." Showing off Cameron's levels. Cameron, you are renowned to be a great Mario Maker artist.
Yeah, artist. Speaking of which, has anybody beat the Mega Man level at the Cain homestead yet?
No.
I might put.
We haven't tried a whole one.
I might put that level code in the show notes. Honestly, challenge to the audience, because I think it's like 0 out of like 400. Like, it's certainly not unbeatable. Like, if you play like Kaizo stuff and all that, but yeah, I don't think anyone's done it yet.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to fire up my Wii U.
Yeah, now
Challenge accepted.
right? Because you would get Cain, you would get customers at the store, you'd get a whole bunch of people because everybody wants to be the first one now. It's awesome. It's exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, I just need to sit down and beat it because you start that level, for people who have never played this level, you start this level and it's kind of like an homage to Mega Man, right? Cameron made it, and you kind of go through and there's like some Mega Man thematic stuff, and you're just like, you know what, this is totally doable, like not a big deal. And then you get to this one fucking part where there's like a little mole, and it's just a sea of spikes on the ground. And there's a mole and a bullet bill like shooter on top of the mole, and you have to jump on top of the bullet bill like launcher, and you have to navigate this because the mole like moves where you move on like this tiny little platform, and there's like tons of like spikes and bullshit on the way. So you just have to totally navigate and it's totally it's horseshit, man. You should feel bad about it.
That's your hot pro tip for the first part.
Yeah, right.
Spoiling.
It's the worst. But yeah, Mario Maker is great. I'm consistently amazed by the quality of levels that people create. I remember when that game was first announced, it was just kind of like one of those deals where it's just like, Nintendo's probably going to screw this up. Nintendo has a reputation of not creating, like the 3DS port of this game is a pretty good example.
Yeah, we were actually praising the 3DS port super hard, and then apparently, I don't know, did we not look into it much? Like,
No,
how do you feel on this, Cameron?
We talked a lot about its limitations. I still don't think we know about its the bookmark thing or not. I think it's gonna be I think that's sad news no matter what, just for the fact that you can't make a level and put it online. But to me, it will almost I think it'll in a sense live or die. I'm gonna be into it no matter what. Even if no one can play these levels and I can only share them locally, I'm still gonna dig that, especially on like trips and stuff. But the bookmark thing, especially if you can make a level and have it bookmarked, and then Wii U players could play it. But most importantly, if Wii U people can make a level, have it bookmarked, and then you can bookmark levels, then I think it's okay. It's still not great. I mean, you don't get the costumes either, which is obviously huge on my levels. If I make an 8-bit level, it's usually a costume level.
Well, and then the thing too is that any levels that you've made that don't have, or that have those costumes in them, like they can't be played on the 3DS. Period.
Yeah, it's not even that they changed to say a normal mushroom, or you could do the lanky Mario, which is probably going to be in the game no matter what, because that's Nintendo. That's like in the game. That's not really a mushroom. Yeah, but why wouldn't they just do that? It's like, okay, it's a Mega Man level, but you don't become Mega Man. Whoop-de-doo, you can still play it. Yeah, it's weird. It's Nintendo.
It is very Nintendo, yes.
Yeah, it totally is.
So,
but they nailed the Wii U version. I really think they did. That's a great game. The longevity is fantastic, and I really hope that they make a port, or at least like an update to that game when it comes out on the NX, because that game has longevity, and they need to embrace it.
Yeah, it's. I think the big thing with Mario Maker, just so simply and shortly, is just like less is more. Almost like you only have these tools, and that's the beauty of a level. Like if you just saw a level that's themed on, like I saw one on Clanker's Cavern, Banjo-Kazooie, and
that's awesome,
right? And it's because it's if they could just get in there with like and Game Maker and RPG Maker are very impressive, but it's a PC. You can make your custom art and you can put it on there. You can make what you want, and it's a true game maker. Mario Maker is a game maker, sure, but you're so limited that's almost the fun, is to see like how does someone make a clanker when you only have like these 8 items that can be stood on. That's when really good levels shine because of their limitations.
Yep, absolutely. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Just the same old WoW stuff in the background. But other than that, yeah, the Mario is going pretty strong.
Awesome.
Cain and I raided on WoW.
We did.
Ooh.
Yeah,
it was pretty fun actually. It was old school feeling. We wiped on one
Which
boss.
Which one did you run?
Emerald Nightmare. Is that the only one, Cain?
Yeah, that's the only raid right now.
Yeah, and it's cool. It's aesthetically really sweet. First boss, easy mode, but then second boss was this whole... I wish I would have had it recorded. I think you guys would have got a kick out of listening to Cain swapping off with tanks with this other random dude. It was they just got into like almost like a sing-song unison. Like imagine it was what's the David Bowie and Mick Jagger music video?
Dancing in the Street.
Yeah, there we go.
Which, by the way, have you ever watched the Dancing in the Street with no music audio?
Oh, I bet it's really, really gay.
You need to. Well, people dub over the Dancing in the Street with all the you just need to watch it. It's great.
Nice.
Right on. Well, Cody, what have you been playing?
Well, I have been playing a whole lot of really shitty shit. Let me take a look at my Steam library. Yeah, oh my god. It's not... I haven't been playing really bad stuff. I've just been playing things that make me upset. Like, first of all, I've been playing a lot of Divine Cybermancy. It's like I want to say it's like 50 cents on the Steam store.
Wait, what? Can you say that name again for me, please?
50
It's
cents?
like it's called like E.Y.E, but it's an acronym. I don't know what for. Divine Cybermancy, and it's a cyberpunk RPG shooter, and it's weird because it's not like the actual systems in the game. Like the RPG aspect is interesting and not terrible, but the design of the game and the level design, like all aspects of the design, level design, the certain character design, just all that, it's just it's very painful sometimes because it feels like exactly what it kind of used to be, which is a Half-Life 2 mod. It's running off the source engine.
Oh, okay. I'm getting more of a vision of the game. Okay.
Yeah, it's
on
pretty
top
rough.
of that. Yeah, it's very rough. On top of that, I was going to be playing some TF2 because they came out with a big update and they added ranked and stuff like that. I feel like that was very much trying to be like, oh no, you come back from Overwatch, come back, please.
Yeah,
relevant.
I would like to see numbers actually.
Yeah. I was playing Grow Up, and I kind of slowed down on that. And then recently I bought and installed and played a little bit of Deus Ex Game of the Year Edition, and I forgot just how very rough around the edges that first game is.
It is, and I think at the time, awesome game, top 5 of its year, top 10 of its year, whatever. That is a game that has aged so poorly, though.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. I was thinking about that recently because I've been trying to will myself into Mankind Divided, and not will in a sense. It's an awesome game, but it's not like grabbing me. But kind of the Deus Ex persona is kind of what grabs me. So I was kind of looking at the older games, and oh man, that one.
And that one never got like a remaster or nothing, or like no like fan made or nothing.
I don't think what I kind of mean.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's not really what I mean by kind of rough. I mean like it's like just like kind of the game itself, just like its map design, kind of its menu systems, things that we didn't even think about back then in a lot of ways because that's just gaming. But in 2016, it feels weird.
Yeah, but I've been mostly doing that, and then also playing some Deponia, just kind of point and click adventure game. It's fun. It's interesting, kind of humorous. And then D&D. I was getting a new player rolled for the Sunday campaign because one of our players is stepping out to join a beer drinking hockey league and the other one's jumping in to fill his place.
I'm pretty sure I sold dice to your new player today.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Hold on. Did you say beer drinking hockey league?
Yes. Yes.
Can you explain that, please?
Well, it's where they play hockey and they drink beer.
Yeah.
And it's a league.
Said.
Yeah. So basically the only person that's allowed to drink while they're playing is the goalie. Everyone else can only drink when they're on the bench.
Nice.
And it's like a bunch of dudes, and they pay like $300 for their season, and that's like 20 games. It goes until like February, and it's just a bunch of dudes playing hockey and drinking, getting drunk.
So now you're about to be interviewed about something that you're not even doing, your friend is doing.
Yeah.
Do they have to drink on the bench? Like, is it like a drinking game in that sense? Like, if you're on the bench, you chug?
No, you don't have to drink at all, I don't think.
And
so
then,
wouldn't that give you the edge?
Like, if
to
you
get
drink,
drunk or to stay sober?
No, if you stayed sober while everyone was getting pissed drunk.
See, not exactly. Because if you stay sober, you're going to have the advantage of skill, but since it's hockey, and also it's a bunch of, 20 to 30-year-old fat white guys, you get drunk, and you're just gonna, if you're not drunk, some fat white guy slams into you, and you're not drunk, so you're gonna take that full impact of that blast. You're not made of jelly. You're sober.
It's not like if you were drunk, it would be any better.
Yeah, it would. Alcohol is a muscle
feel
relaxer.
it now.
Well, alcohol is a muscle relaxer. It's statistically people survive more often if they fall from dangerous heights when they're drunk than when they're not drunk, because their whole body relaxes and they turn into jelly.
Yep.
Hockey is already this game that promotes fighting while being pissed drunk at the same time. Just sounds like a recipe for just a fucking disaster.
If it was in Canada, yes.
You said $300 too. Do you know if it's $300 and the beer is like a part of the league and they supply it at the game, or is it BYOB?
I have no idea.
Oh, man.
I would
my
assume.
God.
I would
The
assume.
questions.
I would assume that beer is supplied by your team.
Right, that's what I was thinking.
So,
that
like,
should
part
be.
of the $300 probably goes into buying beer for every game.
Yeah.
Until February, I'm pretty sure everybody's $300 goes into that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sure it's $300 per person.
You
For all
just
that
drink
beer.
$300 worth of beer. Yeah.
Yeah,
And you don't
from
even
here
have
until
to pay like, and apparently you only have to pay like per game. You can choose to pay the whole season, or you can just choose to not play, and then like a couple weeks later show up and be like, "Hey, what's up? I'm drunk. Here's $20. You want to play some hockey, dang it?"
play some hockey.
Yeah. So that's
man.
that's what I guess I've been playing. I've been playing wine
Oh.
and watching my friends talk about hockey.
All right, Cameron, what have you been doing?
Boy, been playing what I actually wanted to bring this up. What is, we all have games, and a loose name you could say are like forever games, I guess. I don't know. What do you guys call games that you just are constantly like, playing in a sense? They aren't like, like, oh, I want to get home and play this, or I want to get home and beat this. Like the games that are just they're just there. Hearthstone, WoW, for me, Madden.
I call those crack.
I don't really have those. I don't know. Maybe Overwatch is the thing for me, but I don't do it every day.
Well, that's almost been all I've been playing when I have been playing, which it's been a pretty slow week. I think it's been a slow week for all of us in a sense, but I've been playing WoW, like we were talking about raiding with Cain earlier and all that good stuff, and I actually have made, I've probably been playing a little bit more of WoW lately than I was actually back when we were first talking about Legion. It's finally kind of sunk its teeth into me a little bit. Yeah. But also, I feel like it almost feels like you're playing multiplayer and then you're playing single player with what I'm about to say. I've been playing World of Warcraft on RP server.
Yes.
Dungeons and Dragons has been big. It's gotten me into kind of the roleplay ideas quite a bit more than I used to be. Cody recently has been playing Guild Wars 2 and mentioned that the only way to play WoW would be to kill or to go RP. So
Yep.
and it got me thinking about it. And so I also Cain has us stuck on Horde, unfortunately. I'm Alliance at heart.
Hey.
Mainly I'm a dwarf at heart, so that's what I'm RPing. Essentially Bran, if you're familiar with the lore of WoW, that's the exploration dwarf. He's prominent in Hearthstone. But yeah, it's
So hold on, you're actually role playing as a character that already exists.
No, I'm definitely no way. That's for some reason that's not my style there at all. That'd be, I guess, almost like LARPing or character role play. Or
Okay.
cosplay. No, I'm not. I like to be my own character, and that would certainly be. I'm my quick way. I don't want to like give a big backstory on my character, so
Sure.
that's kind of my loose way of saying.
So you're kind of like an exploratory dwarf.
Yep. See,
Oh,
we're always
man.
thinking with Supertrope and stuff. We're considering, in video content and all that stuff. Even just for funsies, if you guys, listeners at home, never even see it. One of the things I want to do, I have this great mod that puts all the epic monsters, more or less. I don't know if they're ones only I can tame. I downloaded it as a hunter. I don't know if that's its only purpose, but essentially each map and zone of WoW, when I open it up now, has kind of these different multicolored kind of pathways. Sometimes they're kind of big blobs, sometimes they're like a path going through, like the hillside, and they're essentially the walking paths and the spawn points of these rare mobs. I love the idea of kind of going and looking for each one, almost like, Planet Earth, look at the beautiful snow leopard, that kind of shit.
Isley, I have an idea, an addendum, if you will, to the Planet Earth idea. So I recently canceled my loot crate, so I have freed up another $15 a month.
Oh.
What if I hopped on to WoW and played on the RP server with you, and then we just recorded the Planet Earth stuff as my roleplay character, which invariably would be Samper Brandorf.
I think that'd be fantastic. I'm glad I didn't. I almost named my character Samper just for, if I was recording and you were doing the voice, but that is absolutely perfect. I would love that.
I might do that.
Yeah, it's gonna be really fun. Like, we're talking I'm role-playing here. So, okay, of course I have some stories with this nonsense, and I want to... So, first off, the server I'm playing on. There's only a few RP servers. I did a Google search to kind of find out a bit about them. This one that I was originally thinking Ravenhold, because I kind of heard good things about its RP, but apparently, like in 2016, it's dying. So, I'm looking at other ones, and apparently one of the more popular ones is called Moonguard. And Moonguard is mostly populated because people really like to go to Goldshire, the easiest town of the Alliance to get to. And they like to either pretend it's a strip club, or you'll just go in there and there's a bunch of people in the bedrooms, like half naked, and they're like they're silently staring at each other, which is great. This is almost what drew me to the server in a sense. Right? It's the dark WoW.
I'm in. Where do I sign up?
So yeah, no, seriously, we're talking like you go in there and there'll be just like a naked night elf and like a male Draenei or something. It's ridiculous how many female night elves and female Draenei there are. First off, I would say it's probably like 5 to 1. And this is mainly Goldshire. You only find this kind of nonsense. Like, there's probably people who only play WoW because they treat this like their 4chan or their chat roulette or whatever. and so like outside of it, like especially actually in Stormwind, just a stone's throw away on the WoW map, I've been finding great people. But so it's so funny, like, when I'm bored with the game, like truly bored, like why am I even playing WoW? I'll go see what's going on at Goldshire, because you're seriously the worst part. I almost wish they would disable party chat. Maybe I'm just a creep, I guess, because they have whispering, they have party chats, all that kind of stuff. So it's seriously, it'd be one thing to go up there and you see like the role play of people like more or less cybrain, but it's just this weird like The Shining. When you look down the hallway and there's that weird bunny bear suit dude blowing the dude, because they're just completely silent.
Yep, I remember one of my first roleplay experiences. Like, I'll play human, and so I ended up in Goldshire, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna roleplay like renting a room, and I go up to go to sleep, and I open the door, and there's just it's like a fucking night elf and a dwarf or some shit, like, just silently facing each other. One is like kneeling, and then they just both turn to me, and I'm like, I'm sorry, bye.
Wrong room, sorry.
So yeah, it's great. So like I was just trying to roll with it. I kind of stumbled upon a family, if you will, I guess. It was a human paladin, and he had, it was around Goldshire, so of course it was like 3 or 4 naked women. They weren't really doing it. They were actually talking openly, and they weren't doing any of the naughty stuff. They were playing house, you could say. And I'm just walking by. They point at me and say, "You there, butler, come help us out." And they want me to cut their yard, so I agreed to do it for 5 copper. Nice. I walk around, and we're talking like I have a hotkey to make my character not run, but to go into to toggle walking. We're talking like you're role playing that much. You're using all the emotes, which is kind of cool. WoW has a ton of great emotes. And so, I do their stupid yard work, and he gives me the 5 copper. I'm a dwarf, so I say, now that I have 5 copper, anybody have any booze for sale? And they all turn to me, and the male's like, we're Mormons. And they get like, they get all super mad at me. And they say the only way for them to forgive me is if I get that which they like to do at parties, and that is, they say, the dank fade leaf, which fade leaf is an actual thing in the game. So I actually take these, I know they're just screwing with me. I know they're just saying, go get us some pot, stupid dwarf. What, we don't take role-playing as seriously as you probably are trying to. Whatever, I roll with it. So I hitch a griffin, go to Stormwind, and I'm just walking through the streets asking people for that dank fade leaf. And they ask me, like, when people like bring up like dank and stuff, I'm like, I don't know what that means. They said the dank fade leaf and all that. I met this really cool again, this is, of course it's WoW, so even if it's night elf female, you assume it's probably a dude, whatever. I met this nice night elf female that kind of took me under her wing in a sense. She keeps alluding that she's a part of like a hidden order or the Sentinels. Like, she's kind of role playing in the way that I kind of want to, and we actually went back to the Mormon's house and they were gone, sadly, but so I'm making a friend. I might become a sentinel, a dwarf hunter sentinel. That would be fun to role play as. It's super dorky, but I'm having a really good time doing it. Like, if I'm not running dungeons or raids with Cain, I am on this other server playing with nobody I know friends wise and just fucking role playing. It's ridiculous.
I am so excited about that.
I have a request. When you guys start your planet Azeroth, could you please visit Goldshire?
Oh yeah, God. You have to.
So
it's the eighth wonder of the world.
Specifically, like it's like planet Azeroth, and you visit Goldshire, and it suddenly turns into Vice, and I'm Samper Brandorf. Just, if you look here, I drop the whole pretense of Scottish, and I just sound like a fucking hipster on Vice, and I'm just, if you look here, there's just tons of sex trade. Well, I'm just gonna stand next to it, and you're gonna film me. It's gonna look really edgy. Vice.
Vice.
And one last quick story, just to give you an example. I'm a hunter, right? Dwarf spawned with a bear, so I'm just having this bear following me. It has from the very beginning of the game. I name it DeMarcus, which is nice. A football joke to our listening audience. I'm sure they're gonna appreciate this, football and all. No, just kidding. The Broncos player named DeMarcus Ware, so this is DeMarcus Bear. And
okay, all right.
Yeah, right. And anyhow, he's following me into the inn. And there's a druid on the bed. Soon as the druid sees DeMarcus, druid turns into bear form, uses some toy to make the druid bigger, and just starts, I'm guessing, just spamming the sit key, which makes it look like the bear is just humping the hell out of my bear. And like, it was just like, it followed me around the tavern, like just chasing my little DeMarcus bear around, just endlessly doing it. Like, this is the type of depravity that you're in for. It's great.
Jesus.
What server did you say this was? I'm in. I'm all in.
It's called Moonguard.
Hey man,
Excellent.
If you're all in, you gotta role play.
Oh, dude, I will. Dude, I was actually, me and Cameron were talking about this earlier. I think it would be really fun to play Horde and like have Cameron be on the Alliance, like be the little spy, and just have me be like level up a Horde to like level 110 or whatever, and just come like destroy all the like poor little people.
Yeah,
just like all the people role playing.
That's what I couldn't help but think, and it happens sometimes. Because you'll see Goldshires attacked all the time. But just think about it. Not only do you have all these probably low characters, because these people are in this for role playing. A lot of them don't even hit 100, 110. But they're mostly naked, and they're all clustered up together. Like, right. It doesn't get any better than that. Like, one AoE, boom, 10, 100 honorable kills. It's awesome. And you're ruining people who are trying to cyber with each other, so that's also fun. It's like messing up like a gold farmer when he's trying to farm gold.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's like, on the whole Horde Alliance thing, did I ever tell you guys about the story when I was on an RP server, and it was a normal server, and I was playing some human, and like, there's a whole bunch of preamble before that, but that's not part of the story that I'm going to tell you. Is I ended up going on a quest with some people to find someone's dad, and then like the fighting in RP servers basically is, you duel each other, and then when the other person wins, you kind of decide whether or not it's like, oh, you died or not. So I end up dueling him, and I'm like level 15, like wizard, like, oh, I guess mage. Sorry, World of Warcraft has been a really long time. And playing a lot of D&D, and he ends up winning against the duel with me. I'm like, okay, like, and then in out of character chat, I'm like, okay, well, I'm dead, so I'm gonna delete this character, and I'm gonna re-roll this character as an undead. And they're just, what do you fucking mean? So that's exactly what I did.
Yeah,
and then that just played into my character's backstory.
Cody, you've also mentioned to me, and this was one of the ideas that was like stuck in my brain when I was thinking about actually doing this or not. Like, I actually had like my character name's usually Talone. I had Talone as a dwarf rogue, ready to go on an RP server, but I hadn't clicked enter yet. It was one of those things. You brought up the story about, I think it was you and your cousin walking around, and one of you couldn't speak common, so the other one had to translate for you. I'm like, God, That sounds fun. That's it's just trolly. Like you're not chasing loot. You're not like min maxing. You're trolling. Like even if you're being serious, you're trolling. Yeah,
Super hard.
It's fun. What about you, Josh?
Man, just nothing, nowhere near as cool. Nothing
As
like,
watching Night Elves cyber dwarves silently
In
on
the
a WoW.
Goldshire Tavern.
or I guess as interesting. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's just been lots of Overwatch. That game is really, really good. I can't stop it. It's too
Imagine if you could RP in Overwatch.
I was just thinking that.
How?
good. Oh,
Just
my
how?
God.
I don't know, but it
How?
would be a lot of cyber sex stuff.
All of
A lot of
it
it.
is cybering.
Winston and May.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
yeah.
Oh, no.
We don't want to go down this rabbit hole. Nope, bail. We're out.
No.
Bail. Eject.
Winston X Tracer OTP.
Oh.
But yeah, so yeah, it's been playing a lot of that. Been playing with Paisley and a few sparse people here and there, friends and such. Yeah, it's pretty good. Still really going on that Soldier 76.
So is he kind of your go-to soldier?
For the most part, like if I don't know, if I'm on a team and like it seems like all the roles are kind of filled out, then I'll just jump on a Soldier 76.
Please call him by his internet name, Daddy.
Yeah, Dad.
Just-
right.
Just call him Dad or Daddy.
Mm-hmm.
He's not Soldier 76. He's Daddy.
He's Dad.
Is that because of the Chris Metzen connection?
I think it's just
Band name.
because Soldier 76 is just kind of like an old, like retired war veteran.
Oh, okay.
So he just is just kind of like he's Dad. Like, okay, Dad.
His Christian name.
We're all soldiers now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so just been doing a lot of that. It's pretty good. And then yeah, kind of started playing Destiny Rise of Iron, which I've only really played like the first mission in that, and it's okay. Yeah, it took like 7 years to figure out how to get up to it, or it really didn't take too long. But the thing is like with in order to play the Rise of Iron DLC, you have to have your light level be 280, and you're given like an auto 40, like an auto level up, and you get a bunch of gear that'll automatically raise your level to the proper level to be able to start the content. But yeah, it's like I was trying to raise up like my warlock, and yeah, it was just taking forever because I was at like 219, and yeah, it's a little too grindy to try and get the other characters up.
On a scale from Cyberpunk Half-Life 2 mod to Night Elf Cybering and Goldshire, what's the enjoyment level?
Oh God.
I don't have a good witty response for that. Not great. But yeah, I mean, so I popped that like level 40 light level thing, and then went into the first mission with Paisley, and it was okay. I mean, it's on a snowy mountain, so already it's pretty decent. Snow is really cool.
Until the desert zone.
Yeah, no, that's it. No, that's Mars, and we've already done all that nonsense, so it's no big deal.
So okay, you said something that was interesting to me. No, it sounds like when you buy this DLC, you automatically get something that can boost you up to the right light level.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I guess that's how they cover that up. I was gonna say, so like obviously WoW has item levels now. They've embraced all that. It's even in the game. And but you get, when you get the expansion, you get the content more or less. That content is there as a part of the expansion. And then your eye level only comes up when you're doing like dungeons and raids. So like without this boost, is it essentially like you have to have that light level to see the content at all? Like, do you get any content if you aren't at that eye level? Or are you only doing old stuff to get that?
And that's light, like light.
Oh,
light.
sorry, light.
But yeah, well, you can start it out at a lower light level. Like Paisley was telling me she started at like 260. It's recommended 280. I'm not sure like what the cutoff is, but
so they don't lock you out or anything.
It's damn near impossible unless you are like at the minimum.
Right.
So yeah. So yeah, like you can still continue to experience the content and all that, but it's very, I don't know, it's incredibly difficult. And then yeah, it just I don't know, like last year this time when Taken King came out, like I don't know, like they did all the right stuff to fix that game up, and so I was having a really really good time playing that game. And mind you, I've only played like one mission for Rise of Iron. I actually haven't experienced any of the DLC for the most part yet, so the jury's still out overall. But yeah, right now, like my excitement level from Taken King to Rise of Iron is just it's not really on the same, I guess, level. But I'll have to continue playing some more of it. I think after we finish up here tonight, I'll jump in there and do a couple more missions and such. But yeah, beyond that though, I also kind of jumped into Torchlight 2. Like I got like a weird little bug and just decided I wanted to play some Torchlight 2. It's a pretty good time.
What do you think of that?
It's basically Diablo 3 before Diablo 3 came out.
Yeah.
Like even with like just like the story and like the areas you go to, like first you start off in like the dark edgy kind of woods area with all the spirits and whatnot, and then the next zone you go to is the desert, and that's pretty much where I've fallen off. But it's fun. The game has a really addictive quality to it, where essentially where I would kind of fall off is I fill up my bags and would have to, like in any other kind of like dungeon crawler game like that, I would fill up my bags and have to go back to town. But since I can send my pet ferret Francis back into town, I never leave the field, and so I just perpetually play this game for the rest of ever. So
yeah, I always did like the pet thing. They did a really good job with that in the Torchlight series.
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, overall, and then like I'm playing an engineer. Shocker. I always play the engineer class in everything, always. But yeah, like the abilities and stuff like that are pretty cool. Like I've tried out a bunch of different weapons. Like they have like two-handed weapons that are pretty interesting, but I think I've kind of settled in on like a two-handed cannon that does shit tons of damage. But yeah, and it's overall kind of a cakewalk. I start off in medium difficulty, and I'm almost considering just like raising it up to the hardest difficulty I have right at the moment, because I'm just kind of walking through. I'm like, don't even have to really pay attention when I'm playing. But yeah, like it's pretty good. The story is, I mean, it's okay. It's serviceable, I suppose. So, but yeah, and then I guess beyond that, like maybe it doesn't really count. I'm not sure, but I watched. I watched the Giant Bomb Quick Look for the bunker, and was super super intrigued by it. So I immediately went out and sought out a YouTube Let's Play of the entire game and watched it through to completion.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And it was only like a couple of hours long, so I'm almost glad I'm glad I actually did that, because the game itself was $20. So like being able to watch the entire thing, and the person who was playing it kind of, experienced everything that the game had to offer, and so I was glad I went that route instead of picking it up. But it was pretty good. Kind of takes place in a bunker sometime in the I think it's like the late 70s or early 80s or something like that. During like the Cold War, a bunch of British government officials go into this bunker, and the main character, John, gets birthed the day he goes into the bunker. And the game starts off with like your mother on her deathbed, and it's like 30 years later, and you're the last person in the bunker, and it's interesting. It's yeah, the ending is kind of it's okay, but yeah, it was fun to watch all the way through. But
so I think you kind of touched on a really interesting subject there, in a sense. The both the beauty of a Let's Play, where you kind of discovered this game thanks to video content, and that you especially really experienced it and you got into the game just watching someone play, kind of like the beauty of like when a girlfriend or your family gets into you playing a game. I think that's a really cool thing with Let's Plays. But without a doubt, the developer's worst fear is people doing more or less exactly what you kind of did with you experienced this game, you saw what it had to offer, and you're going to mark it down as a awesome gaming experience of the year, but they didn't get any money from you, and you didn't buy the copy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just such an interesting thing to me. Like I do the same thing in a lot of ways too.
It's also kind of worth noting too that the Bunker is an FMV game, so if anything, like it really kind of plays out like a movie. So yeah, it seemed a little like I don't typically watch a lot of Let's Plays, but because of the nature of that game, I watched it all the way through to completion. So yeah, but yeah, you definitely bring up an interesting point. I didn't even really think of that when I was watching it. So
I think one of my favorite games this year, a lot of people are going to do that. I'm drawing blanks right when I bring it up. Of course, help me out here. Is it Alive? Is that its name? Limbo creators.
Inside.
Inside.
Yeah, Inside.
There you go. Yep, Inside. Because it's I beat it in one sitting. I'm not going back to it. Maybe actually, but
I need to play that
fantastic game. Cannot talk about that game enough. It's so good. But yeah, it's definitely a game that someone could just watch. It's way worse than watching a Let's Play and not playing a game because you got a lot out of the Let's Play is when you buy something and you can beat it so quickly that you refund it within the 2-hour Steam limit, all that. So that came up all big time with Inside. I remember when it came out.
Yeah, that's a game I really need to go back and play. But yeah. Anyways, I think we'll go ahead and take a quick break, and then after that, we will be coming back to talk about games we're excited to check out for the rest of this year. So
Spoilers.
Oh, yep, spoiler. I should have. Yep. But anyways, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, and we're back. So before we went on break, we were kind of talking about games that we needed to go back and play, or games that we like to go back and play. Excuse me. So, yeah, Cody, what are some of the games that you like to go back and play when there's nothing else really to do?
Oh, I
Cool.
definitely go back, and my go-to is the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. I have played that game, I think, more than I've played any other game.
Right, that's a good one. That's a really good example of this kind of question.
Yeah, I always go back to Morrowind. Like, even if I beat Skyrim, I'll finish Skyrim, I'm like, man, I should really go play Morrowind again. I should really just swing and miss over and over again because I don't have at least 80 in a sword skill. Yeah, that would be sweet. I always do that, and then obviously D&D is kind of like I feel like that's an easy one. Like, duh, I always go back and play tabletop RPGs because I have a horrifying addiction. But then, those are the main games. I would say that Morrowind, if I boiled it down to one game, that is the game for me that I go back to.
I'm surprised that you didn't say Secret of Mana. I feel like every time it's like, hey, Cody, what have you been playing? You're like, oh, well, not much, but I downloaded Secret of Mana.
Good
Playing
point.
that again.
Okay, I guess that's the other game, because that's actually in my Super Nintendo right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Secret of Mana and the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind.
I think it'd almost be interesting, much like a game of the year sense almost or a top 100 of this or that, for us to actually kind of really try to come up with a Supertrope game that you like, or a list of the games we play, because it's a weird question, because it's like, in a lot of ways it's almost the greatest games of all time. It's not truly. I mean, there are some great games that you only go through once and they stick with you, like a Last of Us or something, but it's just so interesting to me, because this is a category where things like Minecraft, Mario Maker, Hearthstone, WoW, Overwatch, to some people Call of Duty, Madden. I mean, it's a really interesting category to me now I'm thinking about it. Because like those are like, in a lot of ways, that's kind of what gaming's all about in a sense. Like, one great story, sure, but like we kind of have that, like that's kind of movies almost in a sense. It's great that games have that, and some of the best experiences are that. But gaming is kind of about being able to go back to that well, especially replayability being such a big factor. If No Man's Sky had been great, that would have been probably an excellent one on this list. It didn't turn out to be that way, but yeah, now I'm just thinking about all the games that I can't, because they stay with you forever. Civ, I can't believe it took me this long to bring that up. Actually, Civilization might be my all-time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. What about you, Cain?
For me, it's totally Blizzard games. Blizzard has a huge niche for this type of game. Like you said, Cameron, Hearthstone, World of Warcraft.
I should have said Diablo. Yeah, that's a big one.
Diablo for me is huge. Whenever I get bored or there's usually a lull, I usually end up playing either Diablo or WoW. Like those are the two, pretty much always. And then like classic games. I revisit like NES games quite a bit, Super Nintendo games, like Mega Man. I played through Mega Man 2 probably like 6 times a year.
Nice.
Link to the Past, I play that once a year at least. That kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. I feel like once a year you beat all the Mega Man games, Cain.
That's probably true.
Got to stay sharp.
Oh yeah. I don't know if there's actually games that I would long-term play a whole lot of. I mean, in the short term, like if I'm just kind of like, I don't know what to do for an evening, definitely my go-to game is Receiver, which is just a super, super tiny little, just a first-person shooter game. But I love it so much because it's like, it's the only game I've ever played where like you actually have to load each individual bullet into a clip and then load that clip, cock the gun, take the safety off, and then like has like a kind of interesting like aiming reticle where you just like when you hold the gun up, it has like a circle in the middle of the screen where it will wander freely without you actually turning the entire your whole vision. So it's just a weird, like you have to pick up, I think it's like 8 tapes or something like that, and then you beat the game. I've actually never beat it.
I have.
It's super fucking hard.
RNGesus was on my side that time.
Yeah, it's definitely a random game, but yeah, like that's like, I think that's about the only game where like if I don't have anything else to do, that's what I'll pick up and play. But maybe like in the dry season, maybe I'll kick off. Like I usually have games in my reserve that I just will play, so I'm always constantly playing different games. But yeah,
another one for me that I find myself revisiting is The Binding of Isaac. That's a great game.
Yeah, you and Tommy both. That's almost all I used to know Tommy played for like a year was Binding of Isaac.
Yep. Yeah, I played the original a lot, beat that one several times, and then when the update came out, Afterbirth, I think, and then they released an expansion. Rebirth, that's it. That was the expansion. But yeah, that game is really fun. It's totally great for replayability. Like other roguelikes too. FTL. Yeah. Josh, I know you play FTL a lot.
Yeah, FTL is probably another one where I pick up and go.
I think there's a bunch that you don't even like realize in a sense. Like I didn't want to bring this up because it's not entirely about this, but for me, a lot of times, especially with games like WoW, sometimes Madden, maybe Hearthstone. There are games that a lot of times I wonder, am I just playing because I'm bored? It's almost like a gamer guilt. Like, should I be playing something different? Should I be playing something new? Should I be doing something on my backlog? It's kind of like, going back to the well, something that good old trusty. But so yeah, there's a whole bunch of them. Really, they're all over the place. I think the reason why this question is relevant is because I think a lot of us are playing these games right now because we're feeling like, despite we kind of, I think we said earlier on our earlier podcast that Madden's the kickoff to the holiday season. It is technically, yeah, right. See what I did there? It is technically, but it's been a very slow September in my opinion for video games. It's kind of a blessing in a lot of ways because I'm being able to be guilty with my WoW and not really feel like I'm missing much. We have Forza Horizon coming out tomorrow, which I'm planning to do, but that's only multiplayer with you guys. That's not a game I'll be playing by myself. So. Yeah, really, up until we go into October. October actually hits pretty hard.
Why do you think I'm playing Divine Cybermancy?
Right.
Game and other games that were obviously made with Game Maker. Yeah. There's not a ton coming out right now that's at least that interests me personally.
Yeah, September has been very slow. It seems like one of the bigger ones, and this is just saying to your point of how slow September is being, is that BioShock the Collection, like that came out.
Right.
And that's kind of one of the big ones, and it's just like 3 games that are old.
Right. So September was for the most part Recore, which kind of let us down in a way. Not bad. It was a sensational game.
Played it.
Yeah. See. So I think that one let us down. That could have been our big hit. We had Dragon Quest VII remake, but cool remake. Rise of Iron, which is big to a lot of people, but it's still DLC. And then we have Forza, and then of course I don't look so much at the repackaging one entirely. BioShock was definitely a game that we're getting a bunch of requests for, but yeah, it's September used to have things. This one not so much.
Oh, no, there is something. Sonic Boom, Fire and Ice. You forgot that.
Oh,
Wait,
shit.
what?
Oh,
Fucking
shit.
what?
Gotta stop
Yeah,
the
you forgot about
podcast.
that.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What do you
Well, and I
fucking
guess like
mean?
last year this time, Metal Gear came out in September.
Oh, there you go. See, that's what
So-
I'm talking
Oh, yeah.
about.
You're right.
It's-
It did.
Damn.
It's like they say there's like an Academy Award season. That's what September's supposed to be, and so, yeah, so far not so much. But I gotta say, to kick us right off into the games that we're curious about coming out here, right around the corner, I have become very excited, and more excited than I ever thought I was gonna be for this franchise, or even 3 months ago. Mafia 3. I'm very excited for Mafia 3. I think it is actually a silly thing. I hope I'm not putting too much expectations on the game. From what I've seen, they're not really being terribly shy and kind of getting away from kind of the race factor. And, it's really hard not to, race is a big thing right now. Obviously, I don't even talk about that. Video games never touch on that, almost ever. I really hope for a AAA Mafia 3 to really go for it. Like, to ruffle some feathers maybe, but that's what I want. It's post-Vietnam, New Orleans, you play as a black guy. I know it's like the KKK and stuff like that in it. So, I mean, it's going to have context. But yeah, that's October 7th, and I'm very excited for Mafia 3. Like, I'm almost like hoping like GTA 5 out of it in a sense, like just something that hits me hard.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I guess the other game this year that came out that kind of was race related was Deus Ex Mankind Divided.
Yeah.
Kinda
Oh yeah.
with
No.
Ogs
that's-
and the naturals, but they did it in the worst way possible.
They kind of
Like,
did. Yeah. There's a cutscene in that game where they have a thing that it's funny too because the developer actually says that they weren't trying to be political or trying to really put a choice on somebody. They were just trying to give the player the option. They there's a thing where these people are holding up a sign that says "Ogs Lives Matter." So obviously,
Oh
they're
god,
being a little,
no.
yeah, right. So obviously,
Yep.
they're being a little bit political. Yeah. So
just a little.
I'm hoping for a little higher brow than that.
Yeah, but yeah, the Mafia 3, I've always kind of had a wary eye on that one.
It
It's,
looks interesting.
I really enjoyed playing the second one. It wasn't like anywhere near like the same like production level as Mafia 3, but like overall, like I've always been I'm pretty curious about it.
And I've heard good things about Mafia 2. People like it. I never really played it much. It was kind of a series I never even looked at before Mafia 3. So they're doing stuff to capture my attention.
Yeah, that game's always had its fans. It seems interesting. I've just never really dug into it.
No.
It just always kind of gave me that like driver vibe of like low budget GTA. So I just never really tried it.
All right. A lot of those have grown quite well. Like Saints Row came into its own.
Yeah, they did. You're
Yeah.
right.
Sleeping Dogs is a good one that nobody ever gives a chance.
No, that game's great.
Yeah.
I'd play that game a lot. Sleeping Dogs is a great GTA style game.
I have a bad confession, which is I have a really, really hard time playing games that take place in a quote-unquote modern setting. Like, if the game... It's frustrating. Like I really enjoy playing all the Grand Theft Auto games, and, like, Saints Row with all of its silliness and stuff like that, and I'm sure I would super enjoy Mafia, 2 and maybe 3, and Sleeping Dogs. Sleeping Dogs looked super awesome, but my issue is that for some reason I need that fantasy or sci-fi kind of like escapism almost, I guess, where I play, because like GTA 5, super amazing game. I think we can all agree that I would hope we can all agree that GTA 5 is a very, very fun and great game. I cannot finish the storyline. Like, as much fun as it is, I just can't get through it.
I get what you're saying in a lot of ways, for sure. Because if the next Grand Theft Auto comes out and it's another modern city, it sure as hell better be a really interesting one. Either not
Vice City.
Well, and so that's where I'm kind of going. So like the Grand Theft Auto next one, not in America, or maybe an American city that isn't touched on very much. That's the only way that it would even spark a little bit of an interest. I'm gonna play it no matter what. But if it's another, let's just do modern LA, modern New York, whatever, I would be a little bummed out by that too. Where to me, you say fantasy and sci-fi. For me, in a lot of ways, even though it's not truly with those genres, but historical scratches that itch for me. So when they do Vice City and it's 1980s Miami feeling, or they do Mafia 3, the post-Vietnam New Orleans, like, it's, to me, that's almost a fantasy because it's historical. It's something that I don't actually like know myself. I haven't breathed myself.
Yeah. Yeah. So I feel like I'm kind of the only person that really liked Watch Dogs when it came out.
Yeah, you are.
You
the
are.
only one ever, actually.
Yep.
I kind of like cautiously walked into this, but yeah, like I'm actually kind of I've also been pretty excited to play Watch Dogs 2. I just like the vibe better with this one being set in San Francisco and just all kind of like I don't know, like hacker punk? Is that a thing?
Well, and I kind of agree with you, Josh. If they go like with a Saints Row thing with Watch Dogs 2, like if they embrace kind of the gadgets, I think with like what you're saying with hacker and all that, then I'm cautiously optimistic towards it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like I like the vibe, and then as well too with like the first Watch Dogs. I don't know. I had a really great time. Like every time you go into the mission, like you have to hack your way into like their security and like check and see like all the cameras and see where everyone's positioned. Maybe like have like hack someone's cell phone so that you can distract them so you can get through. And I played that game most like primarily like as a stealth game, and only really like started shooting when it got really serious and bad. But yeah, like overall, like I really enjoyed the game. It was definitely nowhere near what they showed off at E3, so I mean that's unexcusable. But like for what it was, I had a really good time playing it. So I'm kind of looking forward to the second Watch Dogs.
Yeah. I would say just on a quick thing that little it definitely would fall into the cyberpunk culture as opposed to hacker, sort of like a hacker punk. Every time I look up hacker punk or look for it, anything, it's kind of cyberpunk. But yeah, I can see how you would want to say hacker punk because cyberpunk really gets away from what you're looking at in terms of Watch Dogs 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was actually gonna bring that up when you're talking about what you've been playing, Cody. It's funny, like you're playing that I game, right? And it's whatever, but it's cyberpunk. That's exactly it. Sometimes when like you're in a mood, like, and I was gonna ask this question to everybody, like, what's the best cyberpunk or steampunk game you've ever played? Because I have a hard time even coming up with some. I don't seek them out as actively as like Cody or Josh, but like that is a genre that someone's gonna someday get it, and when they get it, it's gonna be big.
Well,
Cyberpunk
I mean,
2077.
Yes.
Yeah, but okay, so all the Deus Ex games are technically cyberpunk, and BioShock is technically steampunk.
I was gonna say BioShock
I would say
Infinite
those are the
kind of
games.
falls into that.
BioShock is steampunk. That's super cyberpunk. I mean, I feel like technically, but not spiritually. Like it lacks.
But then
the
apart
punk.
from that, I would definitely say Shadowrun Returns.
Yeah,
I
There you
love
go.
Shadowrun
There,
Returns.
thank you. That's a good one.
Especially, I haven't played it yet, but it got better reviews. Was both Shadowrun Returns. It was like Dragon something.
Yeah.
I own it. Dragonfall, and then also they released Hong Kong, which also apparently got pretty good reviews, I think. And yeah,
That's a good one. That's exactly what I was thinking with the question. Totally forget about that. That's a tabletop RPG as well, right?
yep. Shadowrun is originally a tabletop RPG that is actually technically the genre is both cyberpunk and mage punk.
Ooh, Mage Punk.
Because it's cyberpunk and then there's also magic and mysticism. It's so fucking cool. I love Shadowrun.
Would a game like Sword of the Stars, The Pit, would that technically be a cyberpunk?
I
mean,
feel
it's
like
a
that would be
roguelike.
I feel like that'd be high fantasy. I mean, not high fantasy, but high sci-fi, like sci-fi fantasy, where
Okay.
it's definitely more sci-fi.
Yeah, I see Cain's trying to look it up right now.
Genres.
Actually, the game that really comes to mind that's like straight up, I guess, cyberpunk that I really loved was SteamWorld Dig.
Oh
Nice.
yeah,
That game
was
was
kinda both.
fantastic.
that game starts off
Good
as kind of
call.
steampunk and kind of turns into cyberpunk as it goes on.
Yeah. As you get deeper down, it kind of gets a little bit more crazy. And then there's obviously SteamWorld Heist, which is same devs, but it's not a sequel. It just kind of shares the same aesthetic.
Yeah, looks interesting. I haven't played it yet.
You
though.
know what isn't Steam? I would probably not technically call it steampunk. But watch, I'm gonna bring this up, and maybe you guys will think it is. I almost want to say it is. It's not Steam. It's Myst, and that's Final Fantasy IX.
Oh yeah, no,
The
you're right.
vehicles
Absolutely.
run on mist, especially if you think of like I want to say it's Burmia, the where Sid got turned into a little bug, all that stuff. His city, capital city, especially, like it lives on the mist, and they use it to power all their vehicles and stuff. Like, I mean, maybe it's mist punk, but aesthetically, like if you look at Freya too, she fits right into that aesthetic almost.
Well, yeah, Steiner, Quina, Vivi, they all fit into that sort of steampunk style look.
Yeah.
Right?
So I would say,
Interesting.
like, yeah, obviously it's not steam, it's mist, air quotes. Can't see, but I'm doing air quotes so hard right now. But yeah, I think the aesthetic of that game at the very least would fall very heavily into this sort of steampunk vibe.
Yep. So, Cain,
Talking
is
about
there any games that you're looking forward to for the rest of this year? It kind of seems like yours already came out.
Yeah, for me it was definitely Legion, but yeah, there's definitely some stuff coming out pretty soon. Probably Forza Horizon 3 comes out tomorrow. Like Cameron said, I'm definitely gonna be playing that. I'm pretty excited to get that on my computer and just get like the G-Sync 144 frames, just like, just get off on my graphics card basically. That'll be good. Other than that, it's pretty much like Battlefield 1. I'll probably dabble in, and like as I look through this list. For me, it's probably Pokemon, honestly. Pokemon Sun and Moon looks really cool.
Yeah,
Can
it
I
does.
ask you
Maybe
about one Cain
Pokemon.
there, Cain?
Yeah, well,
One game that, I don't know if you've really been looking into or not, but Paper Mario Color Splash?
yeah, I have looked into that. Those games are good. The last Paper Mario on 3DS was, I don't know if you guys
Well,
played it. Paper
it's
Game.
not
Have you heard
great.
about the guys who already have Color Splash and have been playing it?
No, I haven't. What's going on with that?
So how Nintendo does their pre-order stuff, how you can download the game directly to your Wii U, and so you don't have to wait for it when it comes out.
Mhm.
Apparently, when they launched that for the game, people were able to actually start their Paper Mario.
Oh, wow.
So as soon as they did that, they went offline with their Wii U's, and they've been playing Paper Mario ever since.
And what's
So what's the reception?
Yeah.
Overwhelmingly,
Really?
really good. Like fantastic soundtrack. Like in terms of like gameplay, is a whole lot of fun. They say it's definitely no Thousand Year Door, but it's nowhere like it's way better than Sticker Star.
Sticker
And,
Star
wow.
sucked.
Yeah,
Sticker
Sticker
Star
Star
was
was
too watered down.
Yeah, it was.
Mhm.
Honestly, I think a lot of the Mario RPG games have been resting on their laurels for a long time now. So that's good to hear.
yeah. It sounds like they finally have really locked in a good rhythm with this one. So after I saw like the kind of like the trailer for it leading up to it, and I thought it looked pretty interesting. But then after reading all that with like the user reviews, like I'm pretty excited. Although they could just be like super diehard fanboys, you know how Nintendo is.
Yeah,
But
that's I watched like a lot of the Nintendo Treehouse play that game during E3 this year, and I just couldn't. It just looked like really boring to me. Like just the mechanics and stuff just didn't look like what I wanted. But yeah, if that game turns out to be great, I will absolutely play it. I love those Mario RPG games, and I played through and finished that one on 3DS, Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, kind of in the same era, like same vein as those games. Man, I love them. I'm in.
Yeah, that one's definitely on my radar for sure. But yeah, Cameron, how about you?
Boy, in general, I feel like a lot of what will end up being my absolute favorite games of this year have already come out. But there are some that I think could rear their beautiful head at me, and those would be, I'm gonna say, Civ 6 is the first right away.
Mhm.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Civilization 6, especially if it's
Oh,
if
yeah.
it's just Civ 5, then boom, that's 500 hours guaranteed for me. But if it's Civ 6, like if it's really like if they actually like step it up like they did from Civ 4 to Civ 5, then that's a big deal in my opinion. Like and I think Civ 5 took the world by storm. Civilization's always been big, but like the amount of friends I have, the amount of people I know who play Civ 5, I really think Civ 6 could be awesome. I just don't know how much they're gonna add to it. We'll see.
That was
So,
going to be my
yeah, well,
question.
that-
Like, what do you add to Civ? Like, what?
Stuff. It's because they've done a lot of stuff. There's only so much stuff in history, especially when you kind of generalize ideas like religion and war. If there's only so many umbrellas in that sense. But It's more mechanically, improving the game mechanically, kind of in almost like a Legion to a original WoW. When they making there's certain things like it's such a small thing, and this is enough to make it that step up I'm talking about. But before you couldn't on Civ 5 you can't stack units. Sometimes there's some units to help other units if they're close by. You can put a worker or a settler, kind of a non-combat unit, on the same tile as another unit to protect it, but you can't, take one pikeman and another pikeman and put them together like you used to in Civ. They're kind of doing a hybrid now, where any settler or worker can now be adjoined to a combat unit, and they become a new unit that kind of protects itself. But then even beyond that, I think they are allowing you to stack at least one unit. Actually, I think they might be doing a whole combo system, where now it's like, okay, you're anti-air, but you have riflemen. So you're this kind of unit now, where before an anti-air would get annihilated by, a tank or a cavalry. Now the riflemen will be able to defend it. So adding depth, complexity to the game will really help. But really, also the art style looks really good. They're doing different leaders, different kind of aesthetics and stuff. So we'll see. But that's a tricky one. Like, I would be shocked if it came out and it was that step up, because kind of like what Cain was saying. Like it's like, how do you make Tetris better? I don't know. Civ is seriously a fantastic game. It's the formula is rock solid. Beyond Civ 6, Pokemon Sun and Moon and Mafia 3, we've already talked on those. Very excited for Pokemon Sun and Moon. I play every single generation, always have. I don't think there's a single generation I haven't beat, actually. And then Battlefield 1, I'm very excited for. That game will get me if it has a killer single player. Unlike a lot of people, except for Battlefield 1, a great multiplayer is fantastic, but I never got that into Battlefield 4, despite its pretty awesome multiplayer in the long run. If it gives me a historical Battlefield 1, World War 1 thing, similar to say like a Call of Duty 2 or Call of Duty 4, those kind of experiences, maybe some of the better Medal of Honors, then yes, I'm all for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they absolutely have a great opportunity with this game to tell a really good story with this kind of game.
Yeah,
absolutely,
they really could. And we don't see those ever anymore. Like, even like a lot of the Call of Duties have fine campaigns, but like you're never like a Russian throwing a potato because they can't afford grenades because war's tough. Like you never get that anymore.
Call of Duty 2.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying, and that's why Call of Duty is so good. Final Fantasy 15, big one, but that one's more like that one's one of the weird ones like Last Guardian, where I don't know if I want to allow myself to get excited. And then some sleepers I might just throw out that I think a lot of people are gonna both sleepers and big hits, just to rattle off some big hits for other people to chime in. Gears of War 4, Titanfall 2, Dishonored 2, Watch Dogs 2. Some smaller ones, Dragon Quest Builders. Steep is supposed to be this December. Everyone's shitting all over it. I'm still kind of interested in Steep, but that one could have gotten delayed at this point already. But last I saw, Steep was supposed to be like December, strangely enough. Dead Rising 4 also, I almost could lump that in with Gears of War and Titanfall, but Dead Rising 4 interests me just because they're going full silly and it's going to come out right in time for Christmas.
And Dead Rising 4 is also coming out on PlayStation 4, is that correct?
No.
It's not Xbox exclusive? Or it is?
No, I'm pretty sure it's Xbox exclusive. I'm not sure. I'll look it up, but I think so. But one thing on Dragon Quest Builders, I really, really hope that because that's coming to both PS4 and PS4 and PlayStation Vita. Man, if that game had cross save and cross buy, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
I would finally have a reason to turn that Vita on.
That is probably the only game coming. Oh, sorry, no. Last Guardian and Dragon Quest Builders are probably the only game that I'm not buying. I'm planning on buying on PC for the entire rest of the year too.
Yep. Yeah, Dead Rising is, you're right, Josh, it's Microsoft Studios, PC and Xbox. So yeah, you'll be playing Dead Rising on PC.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, suppose before we get into the final segment, just real quick, is there any games that you guys have missed this year that you want to go back and play, maybe before we really get into the throes of, I suppose, Game of the Year talks?
For me, a little bit of I really, really, really want to go back and play Mankind Divided for Deus Ex. From what I've heard from people who have played it, hasn't really grabbed them, which is a little upsetting. But the other thing is not so much missed, but just kind of glossed over. I really, really want to give Monster Hunter Generations, another solid try, but it is so difficult to go back. I don't know. I like 4 a lot better, and it was just not. It was not a great, like, they added so much stuff and it was really cool, and I feel like the game was good, but just something about what they changed, maybe, I don't know, something about it. I need to figure it out.
And it seems kind of like the general consensus is majority of people who have or who did pick up Monster Hunter Generations have already kind of went back to 4. So I mean, it's not weird that you think that. I think that's kind of what everybody is really kind of experiencing right now with that game. So yeah, all the really cool like moves and stuff that they added to the game, like everything they added was really neat, but I think without that end game content and all that, it just didn't really, I don't know, it just doesn't really do too well. Plus also the crafting system, it was kind of yeah.
I think you could make a lot of the same statements about Fire Emblem, the Fates games, compared to Awakening. I think it was very. I loved Awakening, couldn't put it down. I played Conquest, Fire Emblem Conquest, and it was fine, but it didn't grab me like Awakening did. And it's not a bad game by any means, but not enough to grab me to bring me back to the franchise. Is kind of the thing.
Yeah,
it's actually funny that you say that, because I was gonna say you guys should go play Fire Emblem Fates because it's really good.
Yeah, and it is good. It just didn't grab me like Awakening did, and that could just because Awakening was so fresh and new at the time. And this
Also,
is
Awakening
is
really good.
It is.
Yeah,
Really good.
Awakening is, in my opinion, the best Fire Emblem game. There's no question about that. But Fire Emblem Fates, I sat down and played through all 3 of those,
Wow.
like back to back to back, like
Nice.
more than 100 hours in like
Yeah.
a couple weeks.
I might have to go back to it.
Yep.
Oh man, I bounced off those games so hard.
They're not for everyone.
You've
sad.
never really been much for turn-based strategy, though, right? I would assume, growing up with you, you seemed like you were way more about real-time strategy when I was about the turn-based strategy.
Well, I mean, like one game, like the only game recently that I really like got into was XCOM. Not the second, but the first, Enemy Unknown.
Yeah.
But so I mean, I really got into that. That was a little more like sci-fi up my alley. I don't know, like to me, maybe I just didn't get far enough into the game. But for Fire Emblem, the first one.
Oh, Awakening?
But Awakening, yeah. So that one I played it for a few hours, and I was so completely uninterested in what was going on in that game. It wasn't doing it for me.
But the shipping.
Another game that would fall into that for you, probably, that you would probably not like, that I really want to check out, is Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Funny.
Mhm.
I want to go check that out. It's most of the people who really like Persona have said that game really touches on that and feels great, and I would love to play it. I really do. I want to play it. So as soon as I get myself away from WoW, I will go hang out and play Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Persona 4 is one of my all-time really need to play it, want to play it, respect the hell out of it, but haven't played it games. Like,
Yeah.
I'm constantly thinking, especially with Persona 5 around the corner, I'm just like, I gotta do it. Everyone loves the series so much. I can tell that it's good. I just got it, and I just never have the time. I never sit down on my Vita, really, is the problem, but...
Yep. Yeah, Persona 4 is like top 5 JRPGs for me. Like up there with the old like nostalgic ones for like it's incredible.
Yeah, and then I just want to express too that it's not that I don't like these games or anything like that either too. I definitely respect them at a distance. It's just I can't do it.
Right, yeah.
It's Josh has like the Japanese clause. Like if a game comes from Japan, I feel like it's at least like 25% likely that Josh will enjoy it, and I feel like it really is like a culture thing. Like it just doesn't translate well. Josh is very American, and so he gets these Japanese games, and he's just why are they doing what they're doing? This is fucking weird.
I tried so hard to like Xenoblade Chronicles X. I really did.
Yeah.
I really
Well,
did.
and it is definitely a culture thing, but it's also like I think especially recently, it's pretty undeniable that especially the average Japanese game that comes out and people pay attention to, maybe not ones that take like the world on fire, but your Xenoblade Chronicles even, or almost any of them, mechanically,
cough. Tales of Zestiria.
Yeah,
Cough.
mechanically and gameplay wise, they're kind of more old-fashioned, for better and especially for worse, in my opinion. Like,
Yeah,
they're
you're right.
they're a part of the game and what makes the game great in a lot of ways, but a lot of Japanese RPGs barely separate traditionalism from almost out-of-date mechanics sometimes, and I think that cannot sit well with me, at least.
Yeah, and then I suppose, like, for me, usually when I don't know, when I gauge a game, it's more about the actual story and what's going on, rather than like the gameplay mechanics. Like, obviously, gameplay is a very crucial part of a game, but yeah, like a lot of the stories just seemed way too like cliche and I don't know, like super predictable. And I mean, I don't want to say like, oh, I don't like any of these games because they just are not great stories, because they are. I'm sure, but just I don't know, something about how they are, or like the speed, or I don't know. It's just it sucks because I really want to like these games. I really want to play them, and I want to enjoy them like everyone else. I just bounce off.
Well, it's funny too because it's like, show me somebody who doesn't really love Disgaea or the Tales series or Shimigami Tensei this or Atlas games. Show me somebody who loves those things, who hates anime. I don't think. Yeah, and if you're the type of person who likes to watch anime and stuff like that, you tend to like these games. And I'm a very loose, very light, like the casual of the most casual when it comes to anime fans, and I'm probably also the casual of the most casual when it comes into the Japanese RPGs that have ever gotten me, like Final Fantasy and stuff. Yeah, it's just doesn't click with everyone. I also think what we were talking about earlier, sometimes it's the right game, wrong gamer. But sometimes it's the right gamer, wrong frame of mind. Sometimes there have been games that could be some of my all-time favorite games ever, but if I play them when I'm not in the mood for that genre or that type of game style, it's like a missed opportunity. You got to be in the right state of mind for certain games, especially Japanese RPGs and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so let's see. Did everyone else already talk about the games that they wanted to, or they need to go back and play, or do you want to touch on yours?
Games that I really want to play. Actually, I would like you guys to. I'm gonna list off ones that I'm excited for to play that I haven't, and these are gonna be kind of a loose list, but these are ones I feel like I need to experience before the end of the year. I've come up with a top 5, and I want you guys to tell me which one of these 5 I'm gonna play, and I'm gonna put at least a half an hour into it before next week's podcast. This is kind of my little way of encouraging me to actually have something new to say at what you've been playing. So
I like it.
Just a general list of stuff that I've come out this year. But these aren't going to be the 5, so these are just ones that maybe people have forgotten about. Layers of Fear. I saw Cody's played that. I'm interested on that one. Fire Emblem Fates, like we've talked about. Sultan's Sanctuary. I never got around to, mainly because it was Vita and PlayStation 4 only for a time. I think it's not now. Quantum Break.
Computer.
I'm curious on Quantum Break. That's the one. That's kind of a game I want to get. A lot of these games are games I want to get on the sale, and I just have
Josh
to
is shaking
know.
his head.
Yeah. See, I'm not expecting much
played
from
it.
Quantum
I
Break,
watched
but I feel like I need to. And actually, that is no more true than on my next one, Mighty Number 9. I feel like I need to play that, but it needs to be like $5 or less, like maybe like a Black Friday thing. I'm Setsuna. I'm interested on.
Oh, my coworker played that, and he said that it was amazing.
I've heard people love it, and I've heard other people not like it, but I'm really curious on that one. Headlander. I'm always down for Metroidvania
I got
games.
a coupon for that.
That one looks really interesting. Worms, Weapons of Mass Destruction. I keep bringing that one up.
Yes.
Haven't got it yet. And Grow Up are kind of games that I'm definitely.
Yeah, I played that.
I will play them, but I haven't got to yet. Now the 5. These are the 5 that I feel like I need to. I'm a sucker for especially artistic indie games, things of that nature. Oxenfree, Super Hot, Bound, Hyperlight Drifter, and Abduction. Which one am I playing this week? And ask
You're
me questions.
playing Hyperlight Drifter.
Ask me
Hold
questions
on,
if you
hold
don't
on.
know all 5.
Yeah, Abduction.
Abduction is by the makers of Myst. If it wasn't for The Witness, it would be hands down the clear leader for any type of adventure game this year. People are raving about it.
Yeah, well, that's crazy. I haven't even heard of it until this point in time. So
It's just on like Steam and stuff. I mean, it's also from the makers of Myst, and it's not The Witness. So I mean, we've already told that story in
Yeah.
the games media.
Okay.
Bound, the extremely beautiful dancing game.
Yeah, the PS. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Super Hot. that is going to be the first-person shooter, you could call it, I guess, that moves people, things, and bullets and stuff only move when you move. Oxenfree, the low poly kind of, I don't know what to call it, I guess teen camping, maybe slasher thriller
I would
adventure
say
game?
of all things, it's almost like a point-and-click adventure game because it's very similar to Sword and Sorcery, I would say.
Okay. So yeah,
Is it from the same
Oxenfree,
guys?
Super Hot, Bound, Hyper
No.
Light Drifter, and
Okay.
Abduction are the 5.
Yeah, Oxenfree is made by the person, I don't know, who made, I'm pretty sure, Kentucky Route Zero,
Yeah.
which is another game that I absolutely need to play.
When the final episode comes out, I'm going to sit my ass down and I'm going to force myself to play that game. I know
Yeah.
so many people I respect in games media seem to love that game. The media never, as a whole, has gone crazy, but individuals that I really respect freak out about Kentucky Route Zero, so I definitely need to play that.
But
I'm in the same boat with you in Kentucky Route Zero.
Yep.
As far as your list, the only one of those that I really loved is Hyperlight Drifter. I
Mhm.
played that a lot.
Preach it.
But I don't know if it's really Game of the Year material.
No.
It's a really great game. It's incredibly well designed. There's a lot of great mechanics, but there's really nothing inherently new or like fascinating about it. It's just a really solid game.
I think that's fair. I
Yes.
think you could have said the same thing about not Bastion, but what was the one that came out after that?
Transistor.
Thank you. Now these aren't Game of the Year games. I will be playing all 5 of these games by the time we get to Game of the Year. You can count on that. But which one am I playing this week? It is up to you guys.
I would say Hyperlight Drifter because it's short, incredibly difficult, and after a week you'll not want to play it because you're very angry or you'll have beaten it.
I honestly want to hear you play. I've never heard of anything about Abduction. I want you to tell me about it.
Yeah, actually, that's kind of what I was thinking too. Because, yeah, like The Witness, is definitely taking main stage, and it'd be kind of cool to hear about, something that's not quite out there. So I would throw in for Abduction.
All right. I will be playing Hyperlight Drifter, Cody. Don't you worry. But I will be getting Abduction before and doing at least a half an hour. Can't promise anything
Yeah.
more than that, though.
Yeah.
God, I need to beat Hyperlight Drifter. That game is so difficult. So difficult.
yeah, dude. I powered through that game. I beat that game in like 2 days, and it's really not that long, but it is hard.
They're very
They've actually nerfed
yeah.
it.
They're very
They patched
different
it and
games,
made it easier.
but Hyperlight Drifter spiritually reminds me of Fury. You guys definitely should play
I
Fury.
still need to play Fury.
I played
Oh,
Fury a
God.
little bit.
I really like Fury.
It was fun.
Hyperlight Drifter
Right?
also reminds me of Titan's Grave? No, that's a tabletop RPG. The one where you have like one arrow and you have to fight the
It's
bosses.
just Titan.
Titan Soul.
Oh,
Oh, yep.
Yep.
Art style too, especially. I just love these games. These games are starting to take over my list. They've officially taken over my top 10 list for the past couple years. Actually, more of them than not tend to be your Stardew Valleys or your Oris in the Blind Forest. That one got me good last year. But yeah, I'm kind of finding myself looking forward more to the $20 games than the $60 games.
Yeah, another one that you mentioned that I played a lot of was Sultan Sanctuary. That game is very good.
Yeah, I really want to play. And I don't know if I mentioned Banner Saga 2, and that could apply to Banner Saga 1. I own Banner Saga 1, but I've never played it, and I always hear great things about that.
I've always wanted to, but never really played it. Yeah, just like you.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for that like John Bluth type of animation. If you have that on anything, I'll
Yep.
do it.
If you have a hand animated game, I am already on board.
Right?
Like I tried so hard to really enjoy Aru's Awakening, and I was just like, I love platformers, I love hand animation. And I played it, and I was like, nah.
Yep, didn't get me either.
I'm good.
That makes me think of Cuphead, which I am more than excited for.
If we ever find out when that's coming out.
I just wish it would come out.
I don't think they've officially delayed it out of this year yet.
it's not gonna happen.
I
It's
know,
not gonna happen.
but
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
yeah,
Josh slowly sinking down to the floor.
But from your list previously, I went ahead and beat Quantum Break for everyone here, and I can definitely tell you don't need to play it. Just don't.
I just want.
Oh,
I'm
man,
just
really?
Curious.
Yeah, I mean it's okay. It's like
The studio that it came from, the concept of TV episodes at the end of I don't expect good thing. I'm talking like $15, maybe 12.
Yeah.
Playing Quantum Break, from what I watched Josh playing, like playing Quantum Break is like watching a TV show on the CW where they're writing every season as soon as the last season ends.
So it's
yeah.
it's like Charmed, but with the guy who made Ice and X-Men.
Yes.
And I like Charmed.
Of course you do, Cain. Probably like Supernatural as well.
Yes.
No, I've never seen Supernatural actually.
Yes.
I mean,
Oh my
seriously,
God.
just Quantum Break is just so completely watered down and just dull and boring. I mean, I finished it and it was okay, but yeah, I don't know. It wouldn't even get anywhere near like top 10 of this year. So yeah.
Well, like I said, obviously this is for Game of the Year, but I feel like it's important to play the, I don't think someone should go into a Game of the Year discussion this year without having played No Man's Sky. And that's how I view like Mighty Number 9 and even Quantum Break. It's like these games are just so hyped. Like I gotta know.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, the
that makes
marketing
sense.
works.
But anyway, so yeah, I think at this part we'll go ahead and move on to the final segment, which would be Grope-a-trope. I have in all caps at the bottom of that page, so I wouldn't forget to say it properly.
You should do a fancy audio thing to make that voice really low.
Grope-a-trope. Anyways.
Echoes and shit. That'd be really cool. I promise.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. If you are new to this essentially at the end of our show, we have a massive list of different topics, or they're broken up into 3 segments, and they're randomized before each show, and essentially it's how a game will be developed and in what style. So anyway, so I list off 3 of those, and then we all kind of decide together what would be the best and most ideal development, or just development of a game. So with number 1, it is a text adventure similar to Zork, made by Matt Groening of The Simpsons / Futurama, as a tycoon game.
Oh, you just ruined it.
God, that was getting so good.
I don't know. I don't know if the other 2 have a chance. Tycoon game or not, I think those first 2 would work no matter what.
Anyway.
Mm-hmm. So, number
Next.
2. A Minecraft crafting game made by From Software as an EA sports game.
Motherfucker.
You just really
I
buzzkilled
stand
me.
corrected, actually. That sounds great.
That sounds okay. Well, as not a sports fan, that sounds fucking awful.
See, you guys get caught up too much on the like, A and B sounds so great, but then C. I'm just like, it's like the Mario Maker thing. It's like, what would it be? Like, it's so
No,
interesting.
you're right.
Also, I'd like to know what From Software's take is on a fucking sports title.
Right.
Because
You-
I mean,
you
it could
get a
be like an
customized-
EA sports game, but it's not going to be like football or
So
that shit. They
it's
make
like
up their own
hockey,
sport.
but like you add Armored Core from the From Software, and there's like, how dense are your hockey pads, and where are they minutely positioned on your shoulders, and then you go into hockey, and then in the later From Software published games, then it's like, okay, so now you're playing hockey, and it's just brutally violent and very
just hard
very
as
very
fuck.
difficult. Yeah.
So,
Anyway, what's our
All
third
right.
option?
and so then the final one is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 3, made by Telltale Games.
Oh.
As a pay-to-win clicker game.
Mother. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna
thing
fight
again. I
everyone.
stand corrected. That A and B thing totally applies here. That one totally killed us.
God.
That
Damn it.
the pay to win. You can't apply that to anything, and it's awesome anymore. Damn it.
God.
That's funny.
Well, I'm gonna apply my vote to number 1. I want to see, Matt Groening making, what was it again? It was
a
a
text
text-based adventure game like
similar
Zork,
to
but it was
Zork,
a
made
tycoon.
by
I feel like a text-based adventure tycoon game by Matt Groening is like you're essentially Mr. Burns, and you're in your office, and in text people come to you, and you have to type in like pull trapdoor
Clever.
Smithers, release the hounds.
Yeah, and like say release the hounds.
That would be great. It'd be so satisfying to type that out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that one's a good one. What, can we get a recap
Paychecks.
on number 2 and 3?
Yeah, so 2 is a Minecraft crafting game made by From Software as an EA Sports game. And number 3 was Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 3, made by Telltale Games as a pay-to-win clicker game.
That one's out. And then what's sad is that one can actually happen. That would come out on cell phones. It would be Knights of the Old Republic.
I think it already has.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be Knights of the Old Republic. You'd make very basic decisions, and then you'd have to pay for energy. The second one, there's a game that's coming out that I'm really excited about called Pyre, which it's a sports game.
Mm-hmm.
You could almost like call it like a blitzball, but it has a lot of RPG elements going on there. So like with this one, it's like in my head, it's like, or you could what's that Unreal Tournament or Unreal Engine game that was about crafting it and zombies that never came out. It's been like
Fortnite.
Yes, Fortnite. Oh, it's been like talked about for like years now. Fortnite. I like the idea of like by day, no, how about by night you adventure to gather things to build your sports arena and maybe something to do with the sport itself. Like there could be some really interesting things going on there. But I think I would go with the first one. Just it's great.
Matt Groening, man.
Like this game. For those of us who haven't listened, this game comes up with the most ridiculous, stupid ideas ever. That one we just randomly matched up one of the funniest writers of all time with a game that's purely about writing. Like that's so good. That's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that first one has real potential. Absolutely, especially that Mr. Burns thing. Man, that's
Yep.
That turned me around. Absolutely.
Boot up Game Maker, Cody.
Oh God. But I'm not Matt Groening. I mean, okay, so I may be a dropout, but I still went to Evergreen. Maybe I could get a hold of him somehow. Be like, hey man, person who's super rich and famous, we went to the same school. You maybe want to make a point-and-click adventure game about being Mr. Burns,
It's not even
essentially?
point-and-click, it's text adventure.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Text-based adventure game. For me, in my mind, they're so synonymous. I don't even know why. They're very different.
And they can incorporate the Homer on the computer with the water bird pressing the any key or whatever over and over and over.
Yeah.
That's like my favorite Simpsons scene of all time.
Yeah. But well, cool. Yeah, I guess we'll have to commission Cody on that. And,
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Am I just supposed to make all of these games?
Yeah.
Well, the last time too, I thought it was supposed to be like drawings, like you were gonna sketch it out.
Oh yeah, I need to go back and rewatch all the episodes.
Oh, and I do like the idea that we are gonna hold on to the winner and eventually do like some sort of showdown with these ridiculous things, like a bracket.
I will definitely go back and spool back through the episodes and draw out the winners. I will do that. When? Awesome. That's a secret, but you know.
All right, cool. Well, I think that about does it for us tonight. Yeah, going forward, I suppose nothing's really going on next week. I can't think of for Monday, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Hopefully next week we'll be at full manpower here, or full everybody power.
Jeez,
power.
Josh, you just
Servo power.
Yes.
Servo power.
Anyways, thanks for sticking around, and have a great day or night or anything. Just have a great one.